Hey guys, what's up? How are you doing? So, there are two taxes coming up in Kenya that we need to discuss. These taxes will hit you directly. So, if you are a resident of Kenya, obviously you have to think about these taxes. And one of the main changes in this tax here, as KRA is trying as much as possible to raise taxes and to make sure that they meet their target with regards to revenue collection, is the car taxes. So, guys, if you haven't bought a car, you're going to be paying more. If you have bought a car, then you're fine. And if you're thinking of changing your car, maybe you want to change it before July because you have like a month to change it, especially if you want to import. But even if you're not going to import, remember those people who are importing the cars that you buy in Kenya will be passing this cost to you. Like I mentioned, there are lots of taxes coming up. You need to be aware. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to go through the finance bill and look at some of the specific taxes that would affect you as a person. Some of them obviously are going to affect us as a country. Everyone is involved. There's no escaping it. It's like that broad net catching everyone. But some of these taxes are specific to people who want to do certain things. So for instance, the car taxes is going to be specific to those who want to buy cars. And then we have the online earners taxes, which is being proposed as well, and that's going to affect those who are earning money online. So there are lots of changes coming up. So if you feel that this is something we should do, then let me know in the comment section, and then we can have a conversation around some of these taxes coming up. I hear Ross Jerry was arrested talking about taxes, or at least enlightening people about the taxes coming up, and telling you exactly where you can go and read through the bill and reject it if you want to. And she was arrested, and I think she's now out on bail. But again, we now have this environment in Kenya whereby we can't say anything against the government or they come for you. But we still have to do our job. We still have to enlighten you. We still have to tell you exactly what to expect because taxes affect us directly. This money coming out of your pocket. So we have to talk about them. On this video, I want to focus on these two main taxes. The first one, which is the major one, is these taxes on cars. So like I mentioned, KRA is seeking to increase taxes on cars effective July this year. So if you want to buy a car, or if you're importing a car or in the process of importing a car right now, lucky you, let it come through before 1st of July. Now you might be lucky or unlucky depending on how they compute. But one thing I know for sure is that however much they're saying that the new system of calculating taxes on cars is going to be fairer, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think for them to actually change those rules they had, they're going to be making more money. Why? Because probably the KRA officials at the port were coming up with their own deals with importers and people ended up probably paying a bit less. So now if they make it official, the amount of money you need to pay based on the current retailing price of that particular car, it becomes a bit more obvious and structured. And obviously I think people are going to pay more and the small cars are going to cost you more money. That's the funny part about this. So effective 1st of July, you're going to pay more. In my opinion, you're going to pay more for your cars. So should you be buying a car now? For me, I believe a car is a necessity. If there's one thing you need to have, it's a car. A car is a necessity. We have gone past that stage whereby a car is just for luxury purposes. A car is a necessity. You need to have a car, especially if you're living in like Nairobi, for instance, whereby you need to move around. If you're going to make use of your time efficiently, you need something that can move you around. Of course, someone would say you use Uber, you'd use, this lots of transportation within Nairobi. But at the end of the day, there's that convenience that you get from your own car. It gives you some level of freedom, gives you a level of convenience that you can't get anywhere else. And of course, just comfort, right? You want to know that you can wake up and go wherever you want to. You want to have that level of control and independence in your life. So a car is something that I don't negotiate. I always say you can save money, you can have all these, investments, but buying a car becomes a necessity as well. So it doesn't mean you have to buy it fast or buy it immediately, but it's one thing you must have in your plans. Even as you make your financial plans, as you make your financial goals, buying a car should be one of them. Because having a car is not just about the luxury part of it. Having a car saves you so much. It saves you money. It saves you time, which is basically translated to money as well. It gives you convenience. It also makes you look serious sometimes. When you're going for a meeting, a serious meeting or a serious deal, and then you arrive there in an Uber, people start thinking you're not as serious as you might have sounded. So I just think that having a car in a country like Kenya makes a lot of sense. Of course, there are parts of this world whereby it doesn't really matter as much. I know most young people are just planning to buy cars. They are intending to buy cars. I have spoken to a lot of people who are like planning the next few months or years. They want to buy cars. It's therefore important for you to know that taxes are going to change. So what is going to be implemented is what we call current retail selling price. Now that is basically when you bring in a car, they are going to look at the price of that car at that particular time. Initially, they had like a fixed schedule of how much they were charging for importation of certain cars. So they did not look at exactly what that car is costing you at this particular time. Now this could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Some people are saying this could be a good thing when they're looking at the current price, because then when they have a fixed one, your car could be costing less. But in most cases, if you look at like historically, and if you speak to people who have been importing cars, the importation is going to get higher. The importation taxes will get higher. I just spoke to someone recently who is importing like a new Range Rover, and he is going to be paying around 11 million Kenyan shillings as taxes alone for that car. So you can imagine in that case, you bought the car, let's say at, I don't know, 10 million or so, and then you're going to pay your taxes at 11 million. It's crazy money. You would rather at some point, if you bought the car already and it's going to be in Kenya, and let's say after 1st of July, you'd rather then pay money to get that car on a flight and get it to Kenya before July, because you're going to save a lot of money. Because if we look at the changes that are coming, at least with the high-end cars, obviously there's going to be a proper increase in how much you're going to be paying. So like I said, instead of computing it based on a fixed schedule or a fixed charge or a fixed retail price, KRA will now use this current retailing price of the car for you to determine how much you're going to pay in import duties. So just to read for you, the Kenya Revenue Authority wishes to inform the public that effective 1st July 2025, a new current retail selling price CRSP schedule will be applied in the computation of customs value for used motor vehicles imported into the country. People say that this new calculation is meant to make it fairer, but in real sense, I think it's going to make it way more expensive. So those who are looking to buy certain cars, especially the small cars, funny enough, it's the small cars that are going to be way more expensive. So please, if you're planning to buy a car, go to the website, go to the Taxman website, go to the KRA website, and familiarize yourself with how much you're likely to pay if you're going to be importing a car. So it's good to always look at these things before you actually import the car, because sometimes you go ahead and import the car. When you bring the car, it gets tolled at the port because you can't actually afford the taxes. And the taxes can be extremely expensive. They can be exploitative to some extent, to be honest. Now, when they're computing that tax, as they have said, they will include the shipping costs of that particular car, the freight costs of that car, insurance, and other import-related charges. That is going to be included in the computation of the taxes you're going to pay. So you can end up paying a lot of money as taxes when you're importing your car. So according to this new schedule, these are the cars that Kenyans love so much and how much they're going to be retailing at. Now, Vitz hybrid, that's Vitz, that will cost you 3.4 million. Now, Vitz at some point back was only, I think, $1 million or $500,000 at some point, way earlier. So you can see how much these things have gone high in price. Vitz used to be one of those cars that people bought like for 1M, or when you're starting life, it's like 600,000, 800,000, you had a nice Vitz. Now we're talking about 3.4 million for a Vitz. That will be 3.4 million. Prado TX, which is a car that Kenyans love so much, will be costing you 9 million. And Mazda CX-5, car that Kenyans love so much, especially the ladies, this will cost you around 6.8 million. To get a Toyota Premium, which is also a very popular car, you will have to part with 4.3 million. And then for Probox, which again, we know people will have Probox in Kenya, those business people, they will be parting with 2.5 million for a Probox GL. Now, this is just one of the taxes coming up. This is something that you might want to be aware of, especially if you're looking to buy a car, or if you have just ordered a car from abroad. It could be Japan, it could be the UK, it could be South Africa, depending on where you ordered the car from. If it is arriving after the 1st of July, just be prepared. Go to the website of KRA, familiarize yourself with your charges, and get to know exactly how much you will be charged at KRA. The other thing I wanted to mention with regards to taxes is that KRA is targeting to raise 15 billion from Kenyans, especially online earners. Now, a large population of the youth right now are earning their money from online, and now KRA is trying to bring these people into the tax net, because of course people who earn online have been escaping, obviously because there is no clear structure of how to actually get this money and tax them. But KRA is now coming for you. You have to be ready for that as well. There's an intention obviously to make more money, and then the government is looking at every possible avenue to make more money. So again, there is a proposed withholding tax of 15%, which is being considered for platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify, which could automatically deduct those monies that you are paid. So they are proposing a 15% withholding tax on this platform. So I know Kenyans are big on TikTok. Kenyans are now big on YouTube as well. And not so much on Spotify, mainly the musicians. But yes, they're proposing a 15% withholding tax. That's something you want to be aware of. As we go into this financial year, please look at it, especially if you are an online earner. Now, with a target of 2.6 trillion this year, KRA is getting into your pocket. They have to try as much as possible to get your money. So familiarize yourself with what is happening, get to know which places you could be hit, you could be affected as a person, and kind of have an opinion, like let's have a discussion about it. What do you think? And I think that's why these kind of discussions led to the protests that then led to the withdrawal of the last finance bill. So in this case, I feel it's extremely important for people like us to talk about exactly what is going to be affecting people. And if you want us to talk about the finance bill in detail, please let me know in the comment section, and then I can come up with a proper breakdown of the finance bill and the things likely to affect you, even though all of them do anyways. So again, be aware, be informed, have an opinion, and put your voice in. So guys, this is what KRA is doing. This is the target of KRA. At least I thought this is important to get to know, especially if you want to buy a car or if you're an online earner, because there's a large percentage of people I interact with, people that watch my channel. They're young people who are trying to get a nice car here and there. They're trying to hustle online to buy a car. I think these two things are closely connected, and if they're going to be affected, then it's good for you to be aware. Until next time, I'm out.